Hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me okay? Just type a yes in the question box if you can hear me. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for joining me today on this week's development update for WordBotic Beta. I just wanted to get everybody here together, have a few things that are going on. Finally, I've gotten my energy a little bit more recouped after WordBotic Summit, and I am working on some of the hurdles that I have experienced over the last several weeks. We are incorporating a new support system, as I had indicated last week. Support system, it's two-sided. You know, there's the front end that needs to be coded, which is basically the part that that you guys see, and then there's the back end that needs to be coded, which is basically what my staff will interact with in order to process all of the different questions and requests that come through. And I would say probably I had started on it last week when we had talked, and I think I'm more than halfway through now at this point. And let me see if I have a, um, I think I can bring a little part of it here on the screen here. It's pretty much a you know, it asks you to just answer questions. It categorizes the different areas of questions that can come through, and it'll help streamline for my staff exactly how to you know, how to answer the variety of questions that come through. So I'm excited for that. That has been, and then the backup of support has also just been a real hurdle for me, just getting everybody caught up. I have a couple of people that are helping me that have been a great help in just trying to get everything caught up. But I think there's still a lot of open questions that we are just kind of picking away at, and I'm pretty sure that by next Thursday we should have everybody caught up, which will be a relief for me, because I know some people that have been waiting, they just have been, you know, getting really frustrated at waiting for the response coming back. But it's just been such a mess having all my staff hands-on during the summit, and then, you know, trying to get caught up afterwards has just been definitely a learning experience, and definitely I do it differently when when I do it the second time around. The other thing that I am working on, once I get the support caught up, then there are two things that I'm kind of focusing on. The first is the content update, which is just going to take the content that WordBotic creates that you guys see right now, and making that more fluid, going through and eliminating some of the repetition. And I know last week when we had talked, or it might have been the week before that, we had talked about how when the questions are answered, if the answers to the questions have repetitive themes in it, then that just reverberates into the content to make the content a bit repetitive in itself. On top of that, there's some updates that I need to do that'll also taper that, but that's one of the things that I want to work on, as well as just making the content a little bit more, clean it up a little bit, so that the editing process that takes place does not involve too much of changing wording or making wording that might be a little bit awkward, you know, cleaning that up. I'd mentioned last week that that's sort of a really large undertaking, just because there's just hundreds of thousands of words that get put together through, through the process, and it really does take a human eye to look at all of them. So I had devoted a chunk of days to just look at every combination and make sure that the way that the words are being put together are, that they're properly being put together. Then the other thing that I wanted to do was the interface. I'm going to start making some changes to the interface just to start allowing the facilitation of new features that'll be added in just so that it doesn't start getting too cluttered. So the interface that you see here will go through a little bit of a facelift, and that'll be nice. It'll also, I think, allow for some of the new features to just be a little bit more accessible. And then I'm also trying to add more instructions. A lot of people that have been writing into my support have been saying that, you know, they just need more direction and more guidance. And I tried to, a while ago, I had put together the videos. Like there's this video here that sort of goes through what, you know, what the general process is. And then on each question, almost on each question, I have a video tutorial for that question. So this video will specifically relate to this question. So I did do that, and I think I have these videos going almost all the way through. I think the last 5 or 6 have, I don't have the videos made yet, but that was my attempt to just kind of guide people through that process. But I had gotten a great suggestion also to take all of these videos and transcribe them so that there's, you know, a PDF version of each video. So I'm working on that as well. The new interface will also just have a little bit more. I'm just kind of making it so that it makes the process a little bit more guided in terms of how to answer the questions, so that it makes it a little bit easier. Another part of that also is combining some of the questions that require you to put in different tenses. So like, for example, how you have running a marathon and run a marathon here. I'm trying to automate that step so that it will take the 57 questions that are required and turn it into probably about 30 questions that would be required to answer, which will make it a lot easier then for you guys as well. The other aspect that I'm also trying to integrate into this is a option to create shorter content, shorter than 5,000 words. So that's in the works, as well as an element that'll allow you to push the content into a blog and format the content right inside WordBotic if you wanted to publish it to Kindle or whatnot. I also have this really cool thing that I've been working on that I'm trying to just see how I could fit it into my development schedule, because there's so much development that is taking place here that I'm doing, you know, over the next 30 days, between upgrading the content, the interface, the shorter content, pushing it to a blog. There's another thing that I had been working on that is still sort of roughly in the works, and that is, the vision for that is I want to take these projects that we have here. You know, there's several projects, and some of you may have several different projects that you've created, and I would love to be able to take the content that you guys have put in through these questions and repurpose that content to create another medium. And what I was thinking is somehow taking that and making like a slideshow video where you wouldn't even have to really do anything additional. It would just take the information that you added into your project by answering all these questions and compiling a video. So that's kind of exciting. I'm trying to figure out how to do that efficiently and effectively. And it's quite an undertaking as well. So I'm trying to just sort of prioritize and figure out how I can get everything done that I'm envisioning to do over the next several months before we get this out of beta mode and into a really strong working tool. By the time this is all done, this is just going to be such a valuable tool to create content. A question had come through on how to I got a couple questions here that are coming through, but one of the questions is about the modules. When are new modules coming out? The next module that I've been working on, which is going to be a module that is going to be complementary to everybody here, and that is it's a different type of how-to module that is going to allow you to write step-by-step content, which is also it's a variation of how-to content, but it's going to be right now the how-to content is catering to achievable activities. However, there are a lot of different how-to topics that are not necessarily achievements, but that are more step-by-step sort of manuals, such as how to make a candle, how to make homemade candles, or I even have some examples here, how to find a real estate agent in Reno, for example, or how to make an avocado salad. Those are all step-by-step how-to content, and I have a module that I'm sort of working on that will allow you to create content on those types of topics as well. So that will become available as well. As far as the order, I have some people asking what's going to be next. Excuse me. As far as what is next, it's difficult for me to answer that right now, right this second. Right now I'm just really focused on getting these support questions caught up. I have a lot of people that are just coming at me in a lot of different directions trying to get questions answered, and then just getting really frustrated, and just, you know, that's definitely kind of my top priority right now. But I'm guessing that the next thing that I will do after that will be the content update, which will be just upgrading the content so that the content is of a higher quality than what it is right now. It's pretty good right now. You know, after you do simple or usually what I do is I have somebody else read through the content and just clean it up so that I can kind of focus on the actual content and the things that I want to add to it. Last week I had somebody ask me if I could do another video on how to make a book, but more focus on the videos that I have right now, those long videos that are like 2 hours long, is more of the editing process of just cleaning up the content. But I had some people ask how to take that content and make it into a viable, publishable piece. So I was thinking of making a video on that. So you know, that's the fun part, I think, you know, because then at that point the content is clean and the you know, everything is worded correctly, and it's you know, at that point the repetition is sort of edited out. And usually when I get to that process, you know, the content usually ends up being a little bit over 5,000 words, like 5,300 or something like that. And by the time I take out things that are not as relevant to my topic, I end up having probably about 4,500 words. And then I end up writing my introduction and writing my, you know, writing little tidbits of paragraphs here and there as I'm reading. So it still ends up becoming a little bit over 5,000. I end up usually writing 500 to 600 words just while I'm reading through the content, and that doesn't really take me that long. 500 to 600 words takes well under an hour to write, especially when you're framing it with content that already exists and you're just kind of adding to it. So then the next phase to that is usually adding pictures or adding visuals to help explain whatever or relay whatever your messages of your book, as well as adding in more detailed content. Like, for example, the one example that I have in the video section or in the training section over here, if you scroll all the way down to the very bottom video, it's one of the very first videos that I had made. It was a book that I wrote on fermenting vegetables, right over here, on August 28th. So the book that I wrote on fermenting vegetables, it's a pretty simple book. It's just the basics of fermenting vegetables, and you could see I have a link here to the document of the book itself, and I highlighted everything that I actually wrote. So if you click on here, it will take you to the actual document of my ebook that I put together using WordBotic. And you could see the entire introduction I wrote, and then just you could see all the highlighted stuff as I was reading through it. This whole section I added. So now that I've done that, the whole process took me about 2 hours to go through the questions as well as read and edit what you see right here. So now the second phase to this would be for me to go back and add even more content to this that would be relevant. Like, for example, I would like to add like some of my favorite recipes as well as my favorite techniques. And you know, that's really what I wanted to write about to begin with, but if I were to just make a list of techniques, then, you know, it's hard to, I don't know how many words that would be. It'd likely be less than 4 or 5, well, probably less than 800 words if I were to just write the guts of the techniques that I want to share. However, in inserting that into the framework of this book that, you know, this already existing book, I could just write maybe, you know, a article, probably what would be equivalent to an article, you know, and put it maybe right in this section right here, right in between here, on my favorite fermenting vegetables techniques. I can also add my favorite recipes probably in that same section, and it'll flow. So that's sort of what the next phase is to this book, and I think that's what I am going to, I'll make a video on that when I you know, when I talk about how I'm going to do that. Also, my support staff is, you know, as they've been diving in, they have their own projects as well that they've been using WordBotic for. And I was considering just sharing the whole process that they go through in order to produce their projects. And it's really interesting because their projects are all so different, and they have different goals for why they want to write the books that they want to write. And I just thought it would be interesting to share that as well. So I'm going to try to chronicle that and put that in the training section as well, just in hopes that it gives you guys some ideas on how you can use content that can be easily generated. You know, there was a time I remember when writing 5,000 words took me literally all day, like waking up in the morning and writing until late at night. You know, it would take me about that long to write 5,000 words. So now that we have this tool that would allow us to create 5,000 words in a couple hours, it just, you know, it really is a, it's a time saver. So, excuse me. It's a time saver, and it's possible that you can write several books in the span of a day, when before, from writing from scratch, it would take, you know, it would take all day. So let me see if I can get some of these questions here. Where do you get the video tutorials? Alan is asking. So the video tutorials I have interspersed throughout the software, as well as within each within this training section right here. So if you put in a if you log in and click on training, then that's going to take you to this page right here, and you're going to see the development update replays, which is basically what we're doing here, going all the way back in time, as well as you'll see they're labeled replay development update. And then, you know, there's some other random videos, like this one is an ebook in 2 hours with WordBotic, and this was a book that I wrote on making money online using WordBotic. And then this was another one, it's called Wine and WordBotic. This one took a little bit longer. I wrote a book in about 3 hours, but I think it took 3 hours because I was kind of hanging out with my friend Erin, and we were drinking wine while I was doing it, and it was really late at night. So it took a little bit longer, but you can kind of see the process there as well. That's the development update. On top of that, I have videos throughout the area with the questions as well. So when you go to create a new project, then you will see with each question there is a link that says view video tutorial for this question. View video tutorial for this question. Each one has its own video to it that will explain this particular question. So I made that just to kind of offer that extra level of guidance for excuse me, for the questions, because some people were having challenges with some of the questions and how to answer them. So I just wanted to give that extra guidance there. I hope that answers your question, Alan. Not able to access any module. Alan, are you able to log in to the software? Patricia is one that is, you say you've been waiting for a support response. Can you just put in your email address there, and I'll look it up right now and see if I can answer your question right now, if it's something that I might be able to help you with now. And then Alan, if you can just let me know if you are able to log in. You're on the site and not in the software. When you say you're in the site, does it look like my screen here, which you see on my screen right here? Okay, so then Alan, Alan is saying you are in the site, just not able to access the software. What you have to do is go to Tools and then click on WordBotic. And that will take you to this page over here, which is where you start. You can watch this video right here, which will explain what to do on this screen. But basically what you would do is click on Create New Project, which you won't have this whole list of projects that I have here. Yeah, just click on Create New Project, and then just watch this video tutorial here. But hopefully that answers your question. Just go to Tools and then click on WordBotic. And see, this is like one of the reasons that I want to redesign the interface, because it gets a little bit, I get people that sometimes get confused on how to get to any particular screen. I think I did relay in this video. This is the video that you see when you first log in. I thought I had mentioned to click on Tools over here, but it's possible that I didn't. So hopefully that clarifies. And then Patricia, if you can enter in your email address, I should be, I would be the only one that sees that. If you can put that in, then I can see if I can look up what your question was. And I'm really sorry that it says you sent in your question twice and you're still waiting. I really apologize that I've been keeping you waiting. I'm going to just see if I can find it. Let's see. Patricia, I'm not able to find it based on your name. I'm going to put in our phone number here in the chat box so that you guys can get our phone number. Erin is going to be at my office after 7 o'clock Pacific time. So she's going to be picking up the calls that are made to this phone number. So what you can also do is, if you have an outstanding question, then give her a call and she will be able to get a direct line with me as well for anything that she's not able to answer. Okay, so I went ahead and I sent that in the chat box. Okay, we are at 30 minutes. I try to keep our updates at about 20 minutes, but every once in a while we go over. Oh, Alan, I clicked on Tools and then WordBotic, but don't see anything to begin the project. And you scroll down. When you scroll down all the way to the bottom below the video, you don't see a button that looks like this, Create New Project. Actually, Ellen, I just found your email address. I'm going to drop you an email right now with instructions of what I need to see from you to try to troubleshoot this. Let me see. Let me get this set up here. So if you want to just reply back to my email, that would be great. One other thing that you guys will also see soon, if you log in probably later tonight, there's going to be an invitation that if you want to get some one-on-one help with using WordBotic and just being able to use it more effectively and efficiently, there's a survey that I'm going to have that you can fill out just to see what the options are to get some one-on-one help with me and my staff to help you with whatever your projects are, what they may be. So keep a look out for that, or if you log in, then you'll probably just see that pop up. Probably a little bit later tonight I should have that. Otherwise, if you have any questions, feel free to drop us a call at that 920 number that I just put in the chat box. And Alan, I will get in touch with you. Patricia, if you can give us a call. And Robert, yes, I saw, I just right before I came on here, I was looking at my notes from last week, and I was like, oh my gosh, I still have to get Robert's situation resolved. So let me work on that tonight as well. So thank you everybody for joining me here today. If you have any questions, give us a call, drop me an email. The phone will probably work the best if you want an immediate response, and we'll get this. We'll get your questions sorted as soon as possible. Thank you very much, and I look forward to talking to you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye. You were quiet. Good job.